My name is Deo. I'm from Eastern Coffee Limited, and we do coffee processing. We source the coffee from farmers who are practicing organic, and then we process the coffee into a finished final product that we distribute to hotels, to restaurants, to cafes, and to individual buyers who pass by our shop. Previously, I was passionate about coffee, so the passion drove me to turn it into a job. So I started processing coffee in 2015 from farmers whom I knew. The first farmer was my own mother. So she gave me 3 kilograms of coffee that I processed. And what I was doing is I was selling cups of coffee to my classmates, to my school. And then eventually, along the way, I met people who had invested in coffee, and they were good mentors to me. And I've kept building on that passion. I've created the passion into a job. I'm able to meet my needs. I'm able to feed my own family. I'm able to take care of my basic needs, and I see the future is bright.
Some point in life, after I finished my high school, I got pregnant. I was just joining campus, and being a girl child in Africa, when you finished high school, like you're the hope of the family. You're the only girl who has gone that far, and then you finally disappoint your parents by getting pregnant. It was a very difficult time in my life. I felt like everything was over. I didn't have hopes of going back to school because I had seen my siblings, my bigger sisters. When they got pregnant, my parents said, okay, we're not paying for you fees. So I was very, very downcast. And when I finally gave birth, my son, he's called Abraham, the name of my product. He was a very jolly guy, and he just made everything look worth it. Although I had to take a year out of school. But finally, my parents gave me a second chance and took me back to school, and I finished university. Having to prepare a meal for the little boy and also go to school. It takes some time to prepare a healthy meal. That is including fruits, vegetables, which I had no clue how to do it, and yet I was also a student. Initially, when I was buying those snacks on the market, my son was having fever. He was always having a running nose, developing diarrhea, bacteria infection. I didn't even have a lot of money. So it was very difficult also having to spend at least every month. You have to have a week that you're in the hospital, yet you have to also go to school. So it gives me pleasure and hope that I am able to make motherhood easier for other mothers, that they don't have to go what I went through.
from the incubation, when we were doing trainings at boot camp 2, there was a session on regenerative agriculture. So understanding it as basically this is something to do with sustainable agriculture, it is something that sank into my mind to come to understand that regenerative agriculture or issues to do with the environmental degradation are real, and that would mean that the more this continues, the more we are going to lose out on the most important elements that are coming from our farming communities. And to give an example, I'm working with farmers, and in some areas they have been highly hit by climate change issues because sometimes the sunshine is too much. Sometimes they have not conserved their soil, and that means the produce that is coming from those farms in most cases is low, and that means because of those factors you would realize they get low produce, and low produce means they're earning very little incomes. What our business is doing is we're establishing a sustainable supply chain of fresh, organic, and processable coffees that we are going to deliver to users on time. To add on, maybe we are also taking lessons to do with business management. That means if we make it profitable, if we make farming profitable, then it is also going to be sustainable. Some people would think they have nothing to do about it, and while they think they have nothing to do about it, climate changes, and we see the effect in agriculture. Seasons change, flowering patterns change, production reduces, just because some people are not doing anything about it, and if you are trying. So I feel if more people were sensitized about the effects of this, if we created solutions about this, I believe it would be a gradual process, and slowly by slowly we would restore a better climate, and that would contribute to a better society where we live.
My dreams for the future, first of all, right now, my business is very small, so I am hoping to grow it into a bigger business. And on top of making motherhood easier, I would like to also employ mothers, because it's very hard for a mother to get a job, especially if you're a young mother. It's very hard for you to get a job. So I would like to make the lives of young mothers easier.
My dream for the future is to reach out to many coffee consumers whom I can deliver my coffee to. And that means the coffee we deliver to them, it would mean we are generating an income from that, and that would help me, that would help my family, that would help the farming communities I'm working with. So I would love to see that I make an extension, I grow bigger in terms of my coverage, in terms of how many people I can reach out to sell the products like coffee that we are growing from my community. And I would love that the farmers I'm working with are sensitized to know the effects of tomorrow and be able to pass on the agricultural practices they're doing now, the farming they're doing now to the next generations, and that would contribute to clean food systems.